a banless Master Duel video, I haven't even seen the Master Duel ban list, right? So the way that you guys have been like explaining it to me, maybe I should give you my full thoughts on every card on the ban list. So while we're here, let's go ahead and jump on in, guys. I hope it's not bad. Okay, real talk. Since Cali, you haven't seen the ban list, you expect a meta-changing ban list? The way that you guys are talking about how bad it is, I don't think it will be meta-changing, but there are some times where a card goes hit or unhit, or maybe even comes off the list that does define the meta that we don't see until the future, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to Master Duel meta because I think that's one of the best ways just to get Master Duel content in general, right? So meta, secret packs, top decks, forbidden limited list. Oh crap, guys. All right, Kieran the 3. I already love the ban list. I love it. It's 10-10, bro. It's 10-10. This is meta changing. No, seriously, I do think that this is meta changing. In my opinion, Pure Fire Kings are the best deck in Master Duel. Obviously, a lot of people will not agree. A lot of people will state as Snake Eyes. I think that Pure Fire King is hands down the strongest deck in Master Duel, and I will play Fire King pure until the wheels fall off, okay? Until they ban Ponix, until they ban Kieran. I think that this is fundamentally one of the best decks in the game. If you allow me to explain a little bit longer, right? Pure Fire King doesn't lose to Maxi the Charmies, right? Pure Fire King can play Dominus Impulse. Pure Fire King has so much going for it as opposed to Fire King Snake Eyes. Lower ceiling, it's almost like, let me put it this way. You're driving to work, right? Now, you play Impulse in the Snake Eyes version too, but the Snake Eyes version plays Snake Eyes Fire King Fiendsmith, right? So it increases the ceiling. But hear me out. You drive to work every day, right? You can drive to work in a Ferrari, or you can drive to work in a Toyota Camry. Now, you're going to have to understand, when you drive to work in a Ferrari, you do get to work very fast, right? You can get to work as fast as you want to, but the cost is significantly higher, right? Changing a light bulb for a Ferrari, if you guys didn't know, is 15 racks. Immediately off the top. How do I know? I have friends that own Ferraris, right? Like it is such, not even just, it's high maintenance. It's so crazy. It requires so much, right? Driving to work on a Camry, right? Think about it. Like the Brown Beaverman says, you guys got the same speed limit, right? It's way more cost effective, right? And it will get you to work. Now, what exactly does that mean? Everybody is saying Volvo and Subaru. Nobody cares about those trash cars. We're talking about the best car to probably talk about in the entire existence of cars. A Camry, okay? Basically, what I'm comparing it to is that, yes, Snake Eyes Fire King is a very competitive Yu-Gi-Oh deck. It wins. It's flashy. It also is very expensive. Civic is number 2. It's very expensive. Fire King gets you the exact same results. Chat, when have we been playing Fire King and I'm like, I can't win? There isn't. There doesn't exist a potential time where we're playing Fire Kings and we're like, we can't win. Same thing with Snake Eyes. You get a lower ceiling, but the ceiling does just as much. It gets you from point A to point B, especially when we have a ban list, when we have a time limit, when we have these other circumstances, like when you would drive a Camry to driving a Ferrari. Now, granted, the Ferrari does look nicer. The Ferrari does pull more women, right? And I guess in Master Duel, the Ferrari would be, or the Snake Eyes deck is a little bit more flashier. But getting from point A to point B is the most important thing. And that's what Fire King does. And I think this is absolutely huge. This is probably the biggest thing in the deck. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. Completely pure bonkers. To 3 is crazy. Airlifter to 3, I also think is bonkers. I think that these two are huge because these decks do play similarly. Rescue Ace is a slower paced Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and it still has the Snake Eyes engine, right? Because this is still the deck that you run Snake Eyes in, because getting into your Fire Hydrant, it's actually really, really important. It's not a huge Snake Eyes engine, but Airlifter to 3 is so huge. Emergency Teleport to 3, I think that that's huge. There were a couple of decks that we wanted to play that we decided not to play because Emergency Teleport is semi-limited, right? I think that these 3 unhits are crazy strong and won't change the very top of the meta, but will definitely change a lot of things that you guys, the more average to above average Master Duel player will go through, right? So these 3 things I think are huge. I think these are game changing. Pearly from 2 to 3, I don't think this is game changing. I don't think Pearly from 2 to 3, you guys were only playing 2 anyways, right? Like, even, I know for the TCG builds, we typically play 2 Pearly, 2 Pearlily, right? So like, this was one of the most unnecessary things. But so far, I am very, very impressed that what they did for the Unlimited. Cards that actually are game changing, right? It's 3 white, 2 black in Master Duel. Well, I mean, so I guess it is game changing for all of these players. Pearly gets a boost, Psychic decks get a boost, Rescue Ace gets a boost, and Fire King gets a significant boost, right? I love it. I love the Unlimits. Moving on to the semi-limits. There is Solemn Judgment to 2. So this may technically seem like a bad hit, but this is a hit to stun. What we've been noticing in Master Duel, and I think, if you guys don't know, let me fill you in on some beef. Triff has been arguing with Pokemon players, saying that Pokemon is a really easy game, and Pokemon players in response have been joining on Master Duel and playing stun decks to be able to prove that that's not true. Stun can get you very far in Master Duel, and this is good for stun, right? And what I mean by stun can get you very far in Master Duel, we've seen Masters 3 players. We've seen Masters 3 players, and we're like, what are you doing? And they're Masters 3, like some of the worst. And I'm like, hold on, brother. You're actually bad at the game. So Solemn Judgment to semi-limited is another hit. And I think that one's actually fair considering the circumstance. To be honest, Solemn Judgment is still a really, really strong card. It does mean that in best of ones, when you go first and you open multiple copies of Solemn, or even Solemn itself with a good board, you're probably going to win. So now that explains their Pokemon mindset. I think Pokemon players think because the cost of entry into Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so simple that anybody can be good at it. But once they start getting into the game, they're going to start to realize that good players will run circles on them. I will tell you this. There is a huge discrepancy between, actually like good Yu-Gi-Oh players than like just the average Yu-Gi-Oh player and then everybody else. Like the discrepancy is so huge. It would probably, I would say around 75 to 80% of the players fit that bottom category, right? Then I want to say 15% of the players fit that second category, actually good players. And the last 5% is the elite players. And Pokemon players don't understand that, because my experience from playing Pokemon and watching Pokemon players is that a lot of people that play Pokemon are good, right? It's doesn't have a bigger barrier to entry. So yeah, of course you're going to beat bad players if you play decks that beat bad players. But when you start going against good players, it's not going to work, right? Not on a consistent level. So I like the Solemn Judgment hit. Oh, that's it? Wow. Oh. I see why you guys were like, yo, Callie, you need to do a list on this. Oh my, yeah, that's that's our you can feel it when you play at a high level player. You can also smell it too, because they play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. Let's put it that way. So I have a question. What are some cards that you think should have been on or off the ban list for Master Duel, right? Me personally, I think Maxi needs to be banned. I think it's time to hit Maxi. I think it's time to hit Baron. I think it's time to hit some of those interactions where your opponent can one-card combo through hand traps. I think it's time to make the game a lot slower by banning Maxi and banning decks that Maxi attempts to punish, right? Ban Oppo. I think Oppo does need a ban. And the Snake Eyes, I think Snake Eyes should face some serious repercussions, right? Diabel to 1, Oppo ban. I also think that a lot of one-ofs need to go. Like those Floodgate one-ofs need to go. Ban Magia? That's actually really interesting. Yeah, I remember when Jesse pulled off a Crash, a Curious, and grab what? Yeah. I don't, Earl, I don't, huh? I remember when Jesse pulled off a Crash. So he used Curious to attack an opponent, to grab a Crush card, to deck out the opponent. And some of the top players were saying they didn't see that line. Okay. Yeah, it does take, again, the difference between the average Yu-Gi-Oh player and good Yu-Gi-Oh player and the best Yu-Gi-Oh players is so huge. The disparity is huge. Diabel to 1 is beta. The card is fine. Original Sinful Spoils is the broken one. That's so interesting. Eclipse Wyvern, Nimble Beaver, Furniture, Time Seal, Glow Bulb, Dandelion. All unlimited. Merrily to 1. Holy crap. Holy crap. Nah, just hit Oppo and Snake Eyes gets hit big enough. I don't play Master Duel, so I can only say ban the cards I don't like. That's crazy. Ban Flame Beurge because we don't have this in the TCG. What? We have Flame Beurge in the TCG. Drool Beam because I lost to it? All right, you guys are going crazy. Let me know down below in the comment section. What do you think should be banned? I can't wait to see what you have to say.